I mean, he's focused on his business, he's focused on his ministry, he's focused training his fighters and actually loving his fighters. And that's a huge difference because most gyms, when they see a fighter or someone who comes into a gym, they see a dollar sign. And I never got that from John from the very first day. From the very first day I moved up here from Nashville. He treated me like a human being, and he gave me my respect.
We have a ton of kids that are here for free. I mean, money is not going to be an obstacle. You know, we were working for a while with the city about providing gang training, you know, where we're taking these kids off the street and we're bringing them in here, getting them with a positive role model, a good coach who's not only going to train them physically, but, you know, try to show them that there's an alternative to the junk that they're into. You know, so we really don't turn guys away. You know, we find a way for them to clean the mats or to help around the gym, something to get them actively involved, but to take care of, you know, bottom line is giving stuff away for free really doesn't work. So there's got to be some cost associated with it, whether that be money or whether that be time or duties or responsibilities. Obviously, we want to make money. We want to be able to pay bills and stuff like that, but it's not the money that drives us. We didn't start this thing to make money. We started this thing to provide the community with something that they needed and wanted, but to do it in a way where it's changing lives.
You know, whether it's through the ministry or just an outreach to help people if they're down, you know, need some help, especially in times like, you know, today or the current times with the environment the way it is politically and everything. He's absolutely there to help people.
I went to the website, and when you go to the website, it introduces you to the gym, and then from there, it explains a little bit about that, you know, a little bit of the ministry, and there's like a side section that you can go to and get the whole gist of the ministry and what it's about. And I'm a Christian, so it definitely helped to have someone that was my coach be a pastor, which is, you know, almost unheard of in this fight game.
You have the cure to the problems of life in the gospel. And if you don't open your mouth and tell people the answer to life, what happens? Nothing. They die and go to hell. My relationship with God today is I mean, I don't even know how to explain it really. But, you know, God saved me out of the midst of drug and alcohol addiction and whoring around at the bars and Satanism, and then and has been in this process of unpacking all my junk and fixing me for the last, you know, 15 years. So my relationship with God is really everything that I'm about. I mean, I can't just, you know, take one section of it and say this is what my relationship with God is about. Because if you were to ask anybody that hangs out here, my relationship with God is evident by all the stuff that we do here. You know, my job with the Army, you know, those guys know, as well as my church members know, that this is really an integral. My relationship with God is just so interwoven with everything that I do that you just can't pull it out and say that, you know, this is it.
I grew up in the church, so I always had the knowledge of God, and I went to Bible college that first year, and it was always, even though you're in a Bible college and you're influenced, you're still like, okay, yeah, I'm here, my parents sent me here, whatever. And when I met John, and it really kind of tossed a lot of things in my life, just like, wow, you know, worth in trying to find that relationship. And
wage good warfare. Wage good warfare. We resist the devil through these methods, through the written word, through the spoken word, through the prophecies and the things that are spoken over us, the people in our lives that matter, that speak destiny into us.
We're in military community, and people that are not in the military community do not understand that, you know, we're in a war. People get lackadaisical and they're just, oh yeah, you know, I want my friend to get saved because I want to be with them in heaven one day. And it's so much more aggressive than that. And people forget that. And so we want to try to be that example of how hard that we fought through our whole entire life of, you know, shepherding those that are saved, and more so than that, going out and getting more people into the kingdom of God, because the more people that we have on our side to fight the battle, the quicker that we're going to, destroy the kingdom of hell.
We would come in every Wednesday, and there were certain criteria that we have to meet, like certain verses out of the Bible we'd have to read, maybe chapters, and explain them and how they relate to us becoming a figurehead in the community and as well as the church. So, I mean, that really helped me, and it gave me a big insight on, how I can develop my skills on transforming people's lives around me as well, because not my only job is to fight, it's to also influence people around me and guide them to God.
Parents weren't really churchgoers, wasn't going to church, didn't go to vacation Bible school, didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And then when I was about 15 is when I started getting into Satanism, witchcraft, and those type of things. And so my church background's really non-existent. So what's taking place is literally, this is what's happening in my children's lives. And I'll tell you, every one of you here, doesn't matter if your children are grown or small, you can do the same thing, is that you speak destiny in their life. They will become what you speak. It's a guarantee. As a father, if you speak that your son's a piece of trash, guess what he'll be? Piece of trash until God gets hold of him. And even then, guess what happens? Years and years and years of inner healing, God doing work in his life. I was wrestling in high school and doing martial arts, and during one of the sparring sessions I broke my arm, and you can see it, it's pretty crazy looking, but I had to put two plates and 12 screws in my arm, and I went to the local church, which was a couple miles down from my house, and said, I'm pretty good at wrestling, I want to wrestle in state, how do I get healed? And their response was, God doesn't heal anymore. So I had a buddy in school that was into witchcraft, and he said, I know something that'll help you. And so that's kind of what got me started in witchcraft. Why didn't Jesus, when Satan came to tempt him, just internally go, it's written, man doesn't live by bread alone? Why did he say it out loud? Why did the Son of God, God himself, speak in order to resist the devil? The word is life. You have to speak it. There are things that take place, and I couldn't explain it to you. I don't understand it. It just works. I don't know the psychology of it or anything, but I'm telling you, when you are in the midst of your trial, your temptation, whatever it is, instead of internalizing it, speak it. When I was in the Army in 1994, after a year-long process of searching out and arguing and fighting with the guy who eventually was a key aspect to me coming to the Lord, came to me and told me basically I was going to die and go to hell, and God just spoke to me that day. So it was in July of 1994. About that. That God actually intends for us to enjoy life. If you're not enjoying life, it's because you're not doing it His way. I mean, think about it. For those of us who weren't always Christians, was your life fun before you came to Christ? Drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever the story is.
We are doing the best that we can to, go full force into what God has asked us to do. And it's more than just the gym, and it's more than just the church. It's, the kingdom of God and winning souls to Christ. And, our church is amazing. We've got a lot of wonderful people. And, we couldn't do it without the people that we have. But also the point is to continue to get more people, not just transfer growth, not just, oh yeah, let's bring you from this church to this church so we can have a big church, because that's not the point, and that doesn't do damage to the kingdom of Satan.
There's only one thing that really matters